her flight got delayed. I ended up having to stay the night with the girls. She never told me to stay clocked in. So pretty much I got less than 10 hours being with them for over 24 hours. April 2023, she changed me to a 1099 because she does not like paying the IRS for her employees. My tax lady said, you are considered an employee. She frauded you when you were her employee. And even when we did our taxes, it got declined through the IRS because the number for her business was wrong. Because when we looked it up, because she's had many, many different business names, that one was taken away and the feds were on it too. We need to let you go. We no longer need you. I would like to hear that from my boss, Amanda, not by you. And he said in a disrespectful tone that as of the next day, I'm no longer to drive through the gates. It was seriously a big eye-opener because when you think this person's a good person and then you find out the whole story.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Nick, and today is May 2nd, 2024. And today we are doing episode 4 in this series in the Amanda Bobbett and Healthy Hydration Scam on Affiliates. And today we are going to be doing an interview with one of Amanda Bobbett's previous employees. She's got a very interesting story to share. It's going to get very emotional. So make sure you have a tissue box close to you. She is deciding to remain anonymous for security reasons. So we are going to blur her face out. And we totally respect that. If anybody else wants to come forward and do an interview, but they're afraid for privacy reasons or what have you, we'd be more than happy to blur your face out as well. So without further ado, let's hop right into the interview. All right, everyone. So this is Nick, and I am doing an interview here with one of Amanda Bobbett's previous employees who is choosing to remain anonymous to respect her privacy. We're going to go ahead and blur her face out of this video. And I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. Today is Thursday, May 2nd. It's 6:17 p.m. Eastern time as the time of me recording this video. And we're just going to hop right into some questions. I know this has been very challenging for you. We've been going back and forth a little bit before we started this. And, as I mentioned before, we're just going to, go back and forth on a couple questions and just share with the public the truth. We're not fabricating anything at all here. And I want to reiterate that we strongly believe in hydrogen water. This has absolutely nothing to do with the water whatsoever. This is just focusing in on Amanda Bobbett and healthy hydration as a whole and the affiliate program and how she treats people as a whole. So without further ado, we're going to get right into these questions. And so the first one, I've got them written down. That's why I'm looking down. But just can you tell me when you first met Amanda and how you became employed by her?
I met Amanda when my husband connected through a family member with her to help her take her ex-boyfriend's dog and truck back to him. Amanda and I started talking, and I was telling her that I was looking for a job and what I used to do. She got excited and said that you must be a very organized person. And I said, yes. She asked me to email my resume so she could take a look at it and talk to her assistant about me becoming Amanda's nanny/house cleaner. She had me meet her assistant, and I talked to both of them. They both were looking for someone to clean Amanda's house, take care of Amanda's kids when she had them every other week, and take care of her assistant's kids so her assistant could go to Amanda's store and help out more often. Amanda offered me the position to be her nanny/house cleaner.
Okay, cool. Good deal. So I've got some questions written down, and I shared these ahead of time just so that way everybody knows, in case you're like, oh man, she's reading those answers. Yeah, that's okay. She's very nervous and very brave in the first place to even come on and do this interview. Yeah. So, please, nobody pass judgment on anything like that. I think she's very bold for coming out and sharing this story. And I want to thank you again for doing that. So we're going to move right into the next question. When you were working for Amanda, what was your role as an employee?
My role as an employee, I was her nanny and house cleaner in the beginning. Mm-hmm. But by the end, I was her nanny, house cleaner, as warehouse manager, and run around town person.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
pretty
So
much
you're wearing multiple hats, huh?
multiple hats with no pay increase.
Mm.
So it was really hard to even get a pay increase. One day she was doing my time card and she's like, "Oh, I pay you like, $18 an hour, right?" I was like, "Well, you could give me a raise if you would, that'd be really nice." And she's like, "Okay, I can bump it up to 18.50." And I was like, "I think I'm worth more than that for everything I
Wow.
did." So I did. It was like a couple months before the end. I worked for her for about 8.5 months. So yeah, to me, with my where I was at and everything, I feel I should have been making over $20 an hour because of everything I did
Yeah.
and everything I dealt with. And I did everything for her with no questions, nothing.
Mm.
I put my heart into my job. I loved every minute of it. I love hydrogen water. It's done
Yeah.
so much for me and my family, but the end was really hard because I loved her children.
Yeah. I saw that.
I treated those children like they were my own. Every time, because I was mainly the warehouse manager in the warehouse in the mornings, when those children would get out of the car, they would not go in the house. They would come running to me
Mm.
just to give me the biggest hug and tell me they're so excited to see me.
Wow.
So I did a lot for her. I ran her kids to gymnastics. I planned fun events when she couldn't even spend time with them. I took them to the park and did picnics. We went to the river. They came over to my house and stayed the night. I she had a she was in Vegas one time and she called me and asked me to go pick up her girls and said that she was going to be flying back. And then I get a phone call again saying that her flight got delayed. I ended up having to stay the night with the girls. She never told me to stay clocked in. So pretty much I got less than 10 hours being with them for over 24 hours.
Wow.
So
That's incredible. I mean, you really and this is really interesting because I was there in the summertime during July and I seen you. You were very, very active with those girls and had them all the time. I felt like when the girls were over, and I don't want to shine the light and make this interview about the girls per se. This is just something
yeah,
that it's related to your employment because that was one of your duties, one of your responsibilities working there was to take care of the girls. So that's why we're talking about it in the first place. But
yeah,
you really were like a mother figure to them. I hardly saw them at all when I was there. So that's
yeah.
that's crazy. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm sorry I kind of went over.
yeah, no, you're fine. You're fine. Absolutely. So the next question I want to ask
Yeah.
is, can you tell me the kind of training that you received and what your working conditions were like when you were working for Healthy Hydration?
Okay. A month into my employment, Amanda's assistant at the time started giving me a little bit to no training on packaging and shipping orders. The conditions working in packaging and shipping in the garage, I was in her garage. I wasn't like in a real warehouse, which between the months of March through July, in the beginning, it was really cold. So I was pretty much bundled up in sweatshirts. I had gloves. I was double coated. I had extra pants on. It was really cold in there. Through July, it got really hot because our July months, it can get over 100 degrees.
Oh yeah.
I could only, even with the doors open, we had doors open. Um, I, it would get extremely hot in there. I can only be in there for like 30 minutes before I got dizzy, even drinking plenty of water.
Mm,
I was drinking bottles after bottles of water.
yeah.
I asked Amanda many times if she can get the AC fixed. After quite a few months, it finally was done. And by that time, I was let go.
Mm, wow.
So, yeah.
And I mean, It's not like she gave you any benefits or anything. Like if you were to
No.
pass out, you had to
Yeah.
get taken to the hospital because of the heat conditions. And I mean, I seen you. You were out there working in the heat. It was very hot. Like I said, I was there in July, so I know how
Yeah.
hot it was. And I seen you come in all the time doing this number right here.
Yep.
And Amanda's like, "Oh, why isn't she working?" I'm like, "She's probably hot. I mean, there's no AC out there. What do you expect?"
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
crazy.
And I wasn't diagnosed with it, but I just to let you know, I never took a day off.
Hmm.
Never.
Yeah.
One day I took off. I got up out of my bed in the morning, dizzy, couldn't function, sick to my stomach.
Mm.
I figured out the day before was over 100 degrees working in that warehouse. I had heat exhaustion. I slept all day.
Mm.
So, yes,
Wow.
the conditions that I worked in was not right. So,
That's crazy. And you guys, that's important because it's gonna lead into the way that she was let go. I'm gonna let her share that portion of the story, but we're gonna save that a little bit further on into the interview. And I'm gonna hop into the next question. So um do you feel your role was more as an employee, or do you feel more as an or do you feel like you were more of an independent contractor?
my role, I feel like I was an employee because I had daily tasks
Mhm.
that I had to do every day. And she did write me um, on a paper, like what she wanted me to do that day.
Mhm.
And like in the warehouse, she would tell me exactly what I need to do. And I went down the orders too.
Mhm.
So I feel like I was an employee.
Yeah. Yeah, and it makes a big difference because when you have someone hired on as an employee, there's certain things you have to do. You got to
Yeah.
pay state taxes, you got to pay,
Yep.
federal, you got to pay benefits, you got to do. There's so many things, especially when you get over a certain number of threshold of hours. And if
Yeah.
you want to hide under the radar, there's certain things that you can do, like make somebody be a 1099, even though they should be getting paid as a W-2. Hint,
Yep.
hint, clue, clue. So, yeah, based off of everything that I see, there's no reason why you should not have been hired on as an employee. I know everyone's free to do what they want,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, that wasn't right. You should have definitely been getting, paid as an matter. Because I mean, speaking of, I don't know if you're willing to share or not, but when it came time to do your taxes, did you get a W-2 or did you get a 1099 or any?
I didn't get anything.
Mm,
I had to pull up my PayPal's pay stubs
mm,
because that when I was under 1099, that's how she paid me.
mm,
But I want to tell you one thing.
mhm,
When I came on January 30th of 2022, I was hired on as a W-4.
mm,
I filled out the paperwork and everything for it.
mhm,
April of 2022.
mhm.
Three? Sorry. I got the years mixed up, guys.
All
So I
good.
came on last year, January 30th of 23.
Mhm.
April 2023, she changed me to a 1099 because she does not like paying the IRS for her employees.
Mm,
Yes.
mm.
So when I did my taxes, I had my pay stubs from when I had my W-4 and I had my pay stubs from my 1099.
Mm.
My tax lady said, "You are considered an employee. She frauded you when you were her employee because you shouldn't have been on her 1099."
Wow,
Yes,
that's crazy.
it was. It was. And even when we did our taxes, it got declined through the IRS because the number for her business was wrong.
Mm.
Because when we looked it up, because she's had many, many different business names, that one was taken away and the feds were on it too.
Hmm.
Yes.
That's interesting.
That was the one that I was under for my W-4.
Wow.
Yes.
And you had to go and do all the legwork on that.
Yes. Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm just gonna leave it there. We're not gonna touch that one anymore. I don't want the feds coming knocking on my door. You know?
But it was seriously a big eye opener, because when you think this person's a good person and then you find out the whole story. Yeah.
So I want to loop. Go
Especially
ahead.
with the way I was let go. So
Yeah, so I want to loop back into that to kind of close that circle.
okay.
So let's talk about that. How were you let go? How did your relationship end with Amanda Bobbett and Healthy Hydration?
Well, one thing is, I was not let go by Amanda.
Hmm.
I was let go by her boyfriend.
Hmm.
The day that happened, I came to work, and every day I come in and say hi to Amanda, give her a hug. I talked to her about she was paying me in the PayPal. It takes forever, and I asked her if she could give me a check so it would go quicker, and she said, "Yeah, I can." And when I walked up to them, they were whispering. They stopped when they saw me.
Wow.
So I went into her bathroom, and I was really hot because at that time it was September, and we still get pretty hot in September.
Mm-hmm.
I took my extra shirt off because I was wearing extra layers in case, you never know, you're hot or you're cold.
Right.
So I went to go put it in my car, and her boyfriend approached me and said, "Hey, can we talk?" And I'm like, "Sure, okay." So I was outside, and then he had a witness behind him. He said, "We need to let you go. We no longer need you." I said, sorry guys, emotional. I said,
Take your
"I would
time.
like to hear that from my boss, Amanda, not by you." And he said in a disrespectful tone that as of the next day, I'm no longer to drive through the gates.
Mm.
I said, "What did I do?" I walked away crying, very confused and hurt being. I did a lot for her and thought she was not only my boss, but my friend.
Mm.
As of today, May 2nd, 2024, I have not heard from Amanda since the morning her boyfriend fired me.
Mm.
She never told me the reason why I was fired, and to this day, I am still very confused and hurt over the situation.
Mm.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, you're fine. Take your time.
It's a very hard thing because, like I said, I loved everything I did.
I saw the
So
heart that you had there too when you were there. Everything you did everything above and beyond. Like I give kudos to you because I mean that was a very challenging role that you had to fulfill and the conditions that you were working in. I mean you bent over backwards for those kids and just
I
the whole house as a whole. I mean there was a time there was a smell in there nobody could find where the smell was coming from. It was like tuna or something and you were the one you found it and you got rid of that smell and I was like wow. Good
yeah, it
deal.
ended up being I
Thank
think
you.
it ended up being the sink because they made fish or something. It ended up
Yeah.
being something like that. Yeah. But yeah. So
Mm, mm, mm.
yeah, it was really hard.
And her boyfriend or quote unquote boyfriend, I don't know what their official relationship is or
I don't
not.
know.
Um, was he an employee of Healthy Hydration or
No.
no? Hmm.
When he came into her life, he started cleaning house.
Mm,
What I mean is getting rid of people.
mm.
So he was a very obnoxious person. I do have a story to tell you guys about him and what he did to me.
Mm.
So
Wow.
I can do that as soon as the questions are over.
Okay. Okay. We might have to save that one for another interview because I mean we're in a series. This is only video 4 of the series, so you know we can stretch these out if we need to. But I'm gonna roll into. We just have a couple more quick questions.
Okay.
So The next one is, did she ever make you do any like odd jobs or, anything that's outside of your description for what you got hired on?
Yes, I was originally hired to nanny and clean Amanda's house. I picked up her dry cleaning, washed and vacuumed her vehicle after her and her kids came back from a trip and the kids made a huge mess in the back of the vehicle. Worked at her store, ran her Airbnbs while she was in Vegas. I had to take care of, so there was an incident at her little Airbnb and I had to take care of that. And then I had to go to her house that next day and scrub the big house because it was getting rented out.
Mhm.
I handled customer installs. Sometimes I went to the houses and installed stuff. I'm not a certified plumber, guys. She had me, my husband, my kids. We were all involved in this. We're all in this this hurtful situation because my kids saw the pain in me and it makes that pain for them.
Wow. And were your husband and your son, were they ever compensated for their work
No,
that they did? Wow.
no.
You would think someone that goes above and beyond and is offering help from their family just to let somebody go the way that they did.
Yeah,
That's I
yeah.
see why you're so hurt. I mean, that would really sting me. And I'm kind of in that situation now. Just all of a sudden, just hey, we're not going to pay you anymore. What did I do? I did absolutely nothing wrong. So I'm in the same boat as you.
Yeah. Well, you didn't do anything wrong. Meeting you when you were in Washington for those couple months, just seeing when you came in, you pretty much took the company that was falling and you picked it right back up. I was in the warehouse. I saw every bit of those sales coming through. You kept me on my toes. You kept me busy. Just, it was amazing to see. And how you're getting treated is not right because you deserve every bit of that commission that from all the people that you sold to, you knew. That's personally to you.
Exactly.
And how does that make your friends feel?
Yep.
It hurts. So,
It does. And I'm not the only one, like you said, I'm not the only one that's affected by that. I mean, the people who purchase directly from me, they
yeah,
they reach out to me and they ask me questions. Hey, how's it going? Hey, can I get help with this? She might not see
yeah,
that on her end, but little does she know I'm still on the back end answering phone calls, helping people out. I
yeah,
mean, I got people that have reached out to me and are friends with me on Facebook, and I still communicate with them. It's just a lot of things that she doesn't see, she doesn't understand on the back end of it,
yeah.
as an affiliate. And she just does what she wants to do, whatever the temperature is and however she feels, she'll go tell her people what to do. I don't know, it's
Well, one thing I did is I ran the customer service line because you were really busy. So we did have complaints and we had people that returned things and I had to find out why it was broke so we can figure it out. A lot of it was the hydro shots because you have to pretty much prime them to get them to do their bubbles. So that was one thing. And we did have customer complaints. I had a customer that had my phone number and me, Amanda, and another employee sold a whole house to this customer. So we were all involved. Amanda closed the sale. The employee started it. I was in the middle. She closed it. Amanda closed it. This customer started reaching out to me. He was having issues with the whole house. I don't know what was going on. I don't remember because it was a while ago. And so I told him to reach out to Amanda. She was ignoring him. So then the person that referred him to Amanda started calling me. I had to, not to be mean, I had to end up blocking those numbers because it's not mine to deal with. I'm an employee. I'm not the business owner. The
exactly.
business owner is the one that's supposed to take care of those people that bought those amazing products that we believe in.
That's right.
because there's the reason why this person bought this stuff. He has grandkids. His water is so contaminated from all the chemicals that he wanted the best water for when his kids went and took a bath. When his grandkids drank the water, his daughter was pregnant. So, yeah.
And let me ask you on that, because I genuinely don't know. With that sale, I mean, it sounds like you had a lot to do with that. Did you receive a commission on that?
No, because Amanda is the one that closed the sale.
Wait a minute.
There was a bunch of sales that I did not get commission because I did not close them. Like, I talked to a lady for like a week to buy. I don't remember what she ended up buying. I think she ended up buying like not the whole entire bundle, but she bought like the home unit bundle. And when I was on vacation driving back, that was when she submitted her order. I wasn't there at the computer, but I worked a week on the phone with her, getting her excited, teaching her all this stuff about it. And I didn't get the sale. So, yeah. We were told we had to be the one to hit that button. That's not fair because we work our bottoms off and we get these people excited because it is the best water there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, but yeah,
it's all her the colors are coming out. You know, we are airing the laundry out for sure. We're just sharing this information with you guys to let you guys know if you're planning on doing business with someone like this, just know these are some of the things you can experience on the back end. Just know, about her moral character in general. She will say any and everything to bend somebody over. And what's the best way that I can put this without offending anyone? She will say anything to make a buck, basically. She will lie about customer service and say, oh yeah, we've got the best customer service, when really it could be somebody like myself or like the individual that I'm interviewing here today that doesn't have formal customer service training. Our job is to get you the information about the product. But as far as answering phones and shipping labels and, this, that, and the third, that is a customer service role. And that's something that I have preached to Amanda since day one. And she refuses to do it. I don't know if she's trying to pinch a dollar, trying to save 15 cents here, 15 cents there, but yet she doesn't mind riding around in a Lamborghini. So I don't know. It doesn't add up to me.
Yeah. I do have a couple more things I want to pinpoint that I think is really, really important for this. Okay. So is set. I was confused about her business because she talked down on Nagic and their products, but was selling their items on Amazon under an alias. And I would have to remove labels from certain brand of filters and put her own business labels on them. Plus, I had to always work in orders for her own water units. Just to let you guys know, I cleaned the units. That's her Kangen. I think that's what they're called. So it was all confusing, but not my place to say anything. I was doing my job and what I was asked to do.
So she's pulling the old switcheroo on people, huh? With these labels, pulling them off and putting,
pulling them off, putting hers on. And then one last thing I want to bring up is the whole reason why we're here is because people are not getting paid. Well, I am one of them. I asked her, like I told you guys in the beginning, I asked her for a check for a pay period that was due, but never received that check. Instead, I was let go for no reason, and I was never compensated anything for previous hours worked or the hours after that pay period leading to my last day.
What about the times? I know we had kind of mentioned this a little bit before. Not only the hours that you put in for the company, but when you were with the girls, were all those expenses covered by Amanda, or did you ever come out of your own pocket for some of that stuff? How did that work?
It came out of my own pocket. So I do have something for that.
Okay.
Many times I was given a bit, so after a long time, I was given a business card for the girl. Sometimes it declined. Like I was buying the girls Starbucks one morning. That was their go-to.
Yeah.
And she saw that go through because the girls, they'll have a couple sandwiches, the drink, and it added up because Starbucks is not cheap.
Right.
Well, she declined it because she saw it come through. So I never got reimbursed. I would take the girls out to eat. I would do activities with them as their nanny. I drove them to their gymnastics, didn't get gas money, nothing. I was with those girls quite a bit. Like one time, she came up to me and says, "Hey, you need to watch your hours. Your paycheck was a little more on the hours." I was like, "Well, I was with your girls for like 12 hours that day." That's a long time. That tells you that when was the time she was with them? Not to bring up just the girls. There's a lot to this situation because I was a big part of those girls.
Yeah.
One thing was, after a few weeks after I was let go, her daughter reached out to me.
How'd that conversation go?
She said, "Are we ever going to see you again?" I said, "That is up to your mom because she let me go." And I think, I don't know for sure, but I think she never told them. I love those girls so much. That was one reason why I stuck around with how I was being treated. Because it went from her taking the warehouse away from me, just saying, "I just want to see how the warehouse is running. I haven't been in it for a while. I'm just going to use, go in there for a couple weeks," to not being able to go back. I trained her person that took over, and that person did not want to be there and was really upset when I left and was like, "You are the best person. You know how to run that warehouse. You kept that place organized." When I started in that warehouse, that place was a mess. There was so many boxes. I literally spent hours in that freezing cold warehouse unpacking boxes and putting them on the shelf. So, yeah, I really hope this interview helps with this situation.
I hope so too. I hope that the right people see it. I hope that nobody else gets duped by the whole situation. Just know that if you come on as an affiliate, please, please, please make sure you read that affiliate agreement before you agree to anything, because she can and will do whatever she wants to do, and we'll change it with a snap of a finger, just like that. I released a video, the third video in the series, and it talks about how she can go in and just change whatever she wants with the warranties, with the affiliate agreement, just with the snap of a finger, because it's not an official, there's nothing that you sign in ink. So you just got to be really careful. And like you said, I hope this interview helps somebody out. This is going to show what Amanda's true colors really are, how she operates on a moral level. And I just hope it helps somebody out. And I hope you can finally get closure. Maybe she might reach out to you and finally say, "Hey, this is the reason," or, pick up the phone and have a conversation with you and give you an explanation. Or maybe even she might give you your final check, something that, should be given with interest now at this stage in the game. But there's only one way to find out, and that's to publish this thing and get it out there to the masses. So I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to do this interview. And you guys stay tuned for the next one. Video 5 in the series is going to be talking about the warehouse worker who came on after our guest today. And so make sure you guys are subscribed, hit that bell notification to be notified when I drop the next video in the series. And until then, thank you again, and we'll catch you on the next video.
Thank you.